What's up, everyone? Today we're diving into a fresh angle on SNL's latest drop, Jack Black hosting, with Jack White as the musical guest on the April 4th episode. But we're not just listing names. We're unpacking what this pairing signals about the show, its season, and the larger late-night landscape. I'm going to break down the move, read between the lines, and throw in a few hot takes you won't hear from the press release. Let's jump in. Two Jacks, two worlds colliding. Jack Black as host feels like a strategic blast from the past meets a modern, chaotic energy. He's a high-energy, broad-appeal performer who can swing between zany characters and heartfelt moments. That mix matters on SNL today because the show thrives on chemistry between a host who can drive the room and a musical guest who can amplify the vibe. What makes this intriguing is how Black's persona invites wide-ranging sketches, absurd pranks, fearless physical bits, and meta-commentary about fame. Personally, I think his hosting can push writers to lean into physical improv and rapid-fire character work, which is exactly the kind of sprint SNL needs to keep viewers glued in short clips and long-form sketches alike. Jack White as musical guest signals a bold, guitar-heavy anchor for the night. White isn't just a rock star. He embodies a certain anti-pop, throwback modern aesthetic, pairing raw instrumentals with experimental sensibilities. From my perspective, this isn't just about a couple of performances. It's about SNL signaling credibility to a broader, discerning audience who values musicianship and a bit of mystique. What makes this really interesting is watching White push the musical set into something that can feel like a live-room experience rather than a glossy late-night number. If you take a step back, this pairing creates a tonal tension, the playful, physical chaos of Black and the deliberate, intricate craft of White. Season 51's lane shift isn't accidental. The article lays out a season that started with high-profile hosts like Bad Bunny and Doja Cat, with others like Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga coming through in different capacities. That cadence matters because it shows SNL calibrating for a global audience while also testing the appetite for crossover acts who can deliver both acting and singing chops. In my opinion, the decision to roll in multiple first-time hosts alongside established music-first guests suggests a strategy: diversify the energy, expand reach, and keep clips merry-go-rounding on social feeds. One thing that immediately stands out is how the show leans into high-energy names to punch up the opening monologue and the cold open, then pivots to musical moments that anchor the night without needing a full reset between sketches. The shakeups behind the scenes are equally revealing. Bowen Yang's exit marks a notable shift in cast dynamics, and the quick turnover with Ego Newdom, Heidi Gardner, Michael Longfellow, Devin Walker, Emil Wacom, and John Higgins signals a broader volatility and renewal cycle. For fans, that creates anticipation about what new chemistry will emerge. What this really suggests is that SNL is in a phase of recomposition. They're mixing seasoned talent with fresh faces: Ben Marshall, Veronica Slowakowska, Jeremy Culhane, Cam Patterson, Tommy Brennan, to craft a more variegated ensemble. From my viewpoint, that's how a late-night show stays relevant, by refreshing the vector of humor while preserving the DNA that fans rely on. What does this mean for the audience watching live on NBC or catching clips online? For one, the host-guest pairing can influence the energy of sketches and the popularity of musical bits. A powerhouse host like Black can carry shorter sketches with charisma, while White's set can become a social moment, moments that get pulled into TikToks and Reels, extending the episode's life beyond the screen. What many people don't realize is how the architecture of a single episode can ripple outward: a standout digital short vibe, a memorable impromptu on-air moment, or a surprise musical interlude can reshape an entire week of online chatter. From a bigger trend lens, we're seeing late-night formats lean into cross-disciplinary talent, where comedy and music are not separate lanes, but intertwined performance art. The SNL 51st season, with its mix of veteran-esque performers and new blood, mirrors a larger industry pattern. Creators who can do more than one thing, act, improv, music, storytelling, are increasingly valuable. This aligns with the streaming era's demand for versatile personalities who can anchor a franchise or a flagship show, while also driving short-form, shareable moments. As we wrap, a couple of reflective thoughts. First, the host musical duo isn't just a booking, it's a signal about tone. Will Black's energy and White's sonic bravado push SNL toward wilder sketches, sharper satire, and more immersive musical segments? Second, the behind-the-scenes turnover hints at a willingness to experiment with cast chemistry, which could lead to fresher comedy dynamics in the coming episodes. And finally, for you, the viewer, this episode could become a case study in how a show preserves its identity while embracing renewal. My closing thought: if you're planning to tune in or catch the clips afterward, pay attention not just to the obvious jokes or the songs, but to how the host and musical guests shape the room, the pacing of the night, and the remix of the show's energy. What outcomes do you think this pairing will drive, and which sketches or performances are you most curious to see land as both entertainment and cultural commentary?